So, you want to cut a tree down, huh? All right. Well, let's go over what goes on during cutting down a tree. Welcome to Dixon Does It, and I watch some YouTube videos for cutting down trees. I am not a forester. I'm not I'm just a dude. I'm a Gen Xer who learns by going out and doing things because that's what we did. We didn't have the internet. Cartoons were over. We just went outside and did things. So yeah, the internet, that is a good place to learn. This is not a how-to cut a tree down video. This is a process of how to cut a tree down and why you might want to pay somebody to cut the tree down for you. All right, let's get to it. So I'm working on cutting trees down. This one's down. I mean, in the last video, I showed you guys this pile of rubbish, but it's went all the way to there. So now I'm getting there, but don't pretend this isn't there. That's the next tree, and then that tree, but this is the next tree. And it looks super skinny, doesn't it? Super skinny. This will be easy. So why would you do it yourself? I mean, to save money. That guy's going to charge you that guy is going to charge you what, like $700 to cut a tree down. That's a lot of money. I do understand it's a lot of money, and inflation's going up, so he might even be charging $1,000 to cut down a tree. Let's put it this way. He's not just cutting down the tree. He's making that tree go away, which is what you want. You want the tree to go away, but you don't want to spend that kind of money. So let's first say you've watched a bunch of videos and, it doesn't look hard. Well, it's not hard. It's a lot of manual labor, and you have to have the right tools. So let's go over the tools. Tool number one, chainsaw. Is this an electric chainsaw? Yes. Is it a $20 chainsaw? Yes. But I've cut many trees down with this, and the only thing I have to add is oil. The only pain in the butt is getting the cord to follow me. I don't have to worry about the gas in there over winter, killing the carburetor. I don't have to worry about the kickbacks. Does it take a long time? Yeah, it takes a long time to cut through a piece of wood, but you know what? It doesn't take that much longer. So if, pain in the butt versus speed, I'll take the speed lag over the pain in the butt. So yeah, $20 chainsaw. I promote Hyper Tough Chainsaw. And look at that, they don't even pay me. Next tools we have. You're gonna need not a hatchet. Get rid of the hatchet. You wanna know why? Because what we're actually using these for is a wedge. So, if I show you the back of this and the back of that, this one's a bigger wedge. So when we need to, we're going to use this as a wedge. You could even go out and buy a wedge, which would be kind of thicker, and that would be great. So don't buy cheap tools. I know this is a Husky, but this is not the cheap one. A sledge hammer. Could you use a little hammer? No. And when we get to it, I'll show you why you'll need a sledge hammer. Loppers. If you don't have a pair of loppers and you're not cutting down a tree, still go buy some. These things are awesome. They just go right through branches. Snip, 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 snip. You can cut branches all day long with this thing, and the way that they cut, it's not just a scissor action. So you get even if you put these down on the ground and just put all your weight down, you can get through a pretty thick branch. They just go buy a pair if you don't have any. All right, so those are the tools that I'm working with. Not many tools. What other tools do I suggest? Another tool you're going to need is a helper. Oh, where's my helper? I don't have one. If you don't have a helper, I'm telling you, I'm on day 3 of cleanup. Day 3. I still have to get all this cleaned up. So helper's going to be a really good tool. I suggest getting yourself a chipper, but that's only if you're going to be cutting down a lot of trees. The chipper is going to cost as much as somebody coming in to cut down a tree, so you're not saving any money there. The sledgehammer, you could use a sledgehammer for anything else. The chainsaw, like I said, it was $20. You're not breaking the bank there. I don't know about the axe. The axe is, you know, you may not ever use an axe again. If you can borrow an axe, it would be cool. If you can borrow any of this stuff, that would be cool, you know. But the loppers, like I said, you probably should have some loppers, even if you have bushes around your house. The hatchet, I've used the hatchet as a hammer way more than I've used it as a hatchet. I don't think I've ever used it as a hatchet. I don't even know why I own it. Okay, so what's next? Let me throw on here safety equipment. I mean, gloves, maybe some heavy duty ones if you're working with the chainsaw. You might be allergic to the sap coming out of it. I have sap all over me. So, you know, be careful of that. If you have allergies or whatever, you might want to cut just a small branch off, rub it on your skin, see what happens. Eye goggles, something. I mean, there's chips flying everywhere. They're going to end up in your shoes. They're going to end up in your shirt. They might end up down in your pants. You know, you're going to get these little chips of sawed shavings and stuff like that. Sticks are going to fly up. You know, you're going to pull one branch off, another one's going to, that has been pushed down due to the tree falling, is going to whack. You know, you get whacked in the face a couple times. So safety equipment, anything you need to wear, you know, to get by, because washing the sap off is kind of bad too. I mean, regular soap, you got to wash your hands 3 times depending on what kind of tree you're cutting down. So even though it's not safety, you know, it's just good practice, you know. And that's my safety thing for right now until we cut a tree down. So you think you want to cut your tree down by yourself, you can handle it. That other guy that's charging you the money, like I said, he's going to make it disappear. You have to make this disappear. I still have all these branches, which this is not a normal tree, so really you don't have to go by this, but I still have this tree that I cut down, which had normal branches, and I'm still not done cleaning that up. I mean, you got to make this disappear. So where are you going to put it? Because when you drop a tree, you don't know how tall it is. You don't know how many branches it has. You think you know. Once it's down, that's when you'll figure it out. So this tree here is basically that tree because it was right next to it. And first of all, I've got all this to put through my chipper, which I have a chipper. You're probably not going to have a chipper. So where are you going to get rid of this? You're going to burn it all? So you've got this pile here. This pile I've, you know, snipped up and turned into smaller ones because, you know, I am going to burn it. All those big logs I've been putting over here. Smaller log type things that are going to take forever to burn, I put there. Oh, wait, there's more. I was dragging them all over here. So I've still got all those over there. This pile was like this long. I've been chipping it up. What the chipper's good for is from here all the way over there, I chipped, and it's only these 2 small piles. So for what it's worth, the chipper's worth it. But you may not have one. Speaking of not having, you may not have the room to drop the tree. This tree that I fell was as tall as that one there. So what I did was I backed up and I looked at it and I said, it's gonna fall there. And that's pretty much where it fell. You think, what's the tree, like 50 feet, 100 feet? I don't know, but if you don't have the room in your yard, I wouldn't try it. So yeah. So that's a big mess to clean up. You're gonna be cleaning it up for a while. I can have a bonfire here where I am, so that's not a big deal, but this stuff's not gonna burn. It's still green. I gotta let it sit for about a year for it to burn like I want, or I can start a big fire and start throwing that stuff on there to burn it. It's not going to burn, but it will burn. Anything burns. Everything burns. What else? You're gonna have stumps left. You don't want the stump? You gotta go rent the stump grinder. I mean, it does not, you can cut it way down there and have a short stump. You can rent the stump grinder, but remember, you're trying to save money, so why would you do that? You can just leave them in the ground like we have out front. All right, well, Lady Dixon's been gardening. You can hide your stumps, you know, just put them underneath a flower pot or another flower pot. That was huge. There's no way I was gonna get that. I paid someone to make it go away, the wood and all. These two over here we had cut down. This one's hiding behind this stuff, and that one's hiding behind there. It's been about 2 years since we had them cut down, so well, you're talking, they're not going anywhere. They're not dying. I drilled holes in them and I put rock salt in there. If you live in the north like I do, you've got rock salt. This one I've been putting mulch around it, and you know, some kind of fungi's growing on there, so that's gonna start eating it up. Never try to burn out a stump that's close to your home, or the roots can ember, and who knows where they go into your foundation. They're not gonna start on fire underground, but they'll ember. Here's another little one. That was a tree right there. Small trees, not a big deal. Big trees, stump's not going anywhere unless you get it ground down. Again, not a how-to video, but this is why you need your wedge. So you got your tree, and it's right there, and you cut the face out of it, which is like cutting out a Pac-Man. So when you cut the back of this, the tree can close and fall this way. What happens every time is when you're cutting this back, the tree starts to go this way for some stupid reason, and this starts pinching right on your blade. You're trying to saw that, and this is squishing your blade. It's not cool. So you want to drop your tree, you got to put your wedge in there and bang, 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 push it this way. Now, I'll give you a little demonstration, not that this is a how-to video, but you got your little Pac-Man here. It's going to fall that way. It's going to fall exactly there. It's going to fall that way, that way. You don't know. You got to have, you know, everything out of the way if you're going to drop it that way. So, like I said, the bigger the wedge, the better. You're not going to want this. And even if I use this as a hammer, like I say, let's see. We'll jam this in there. I'll just kick it in there with my leg or something. Remember I said can use a regular hammer. No, you don't want to do that. I mean, that'll get it in, so you could probably do that. If you just take this, just give it a good old whack, which I'm going to try to do this one-handed. This is going to be hysterical. One-handed. Dixon does that too. You can see that that's starting to open up. This is starting to close. And the weight of that tree, you're going to be concentrating on this. Don't. Concentrate on the tree. Hit that, look. Give it a couple seconds. Hit it again, look. Back up. Watch it. What's it doing? You know, don't hurt yourself because Dixon has a video on YouTube. So that's it. And I'm not going to steer you either way. If you got the room, you got the tools, you know, and the time and effort, you could save yourself a couple $100. Other than that, it's probably a couple $100 worth of work. And you either pay yourself or you pay somebody else, and you're still going to end up with that stump in the ground where that guy's going to grind it up, and you know, the tree's going to disappear. And even though you do move all this stuff to somewhere on your property, later on, a couple of years down the road, you're going to have to get rid of it, you know, burn it or whatever. So now you're adding even more time, not even this year, but years down the road. It's hard work. Remember, this guy, he's got to pay his helper. He's got to put the gas in his machines. He's got to get to your house. He's got to get back. You know, he's doing it for a living, and if he's a local guy, and you know, the money sounds right, you know, and he's probably not making a lot of money off of you. So he's got to pay to get rid of that wood too, unless he's got the super chipper and he's, you know, chipping it up and selling it for whatnot. So I'm not steering you either way. You know, I'm doing it myself, and I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's just I'm making a lot more work for myself. If you watch to the end of this video, you know, subscribe. Mike, oh, he watches till the end of videos. You know, thanks, Mike. And you know, I'll be blabbing again on something else later. Dixon, peace out.